Okay, before we go to dinner, just a few wrap-up remarks. Don't worry, no speech coming. First, I want to introduce Hope Eccles, whose family made possible the Rural West program, and let her say a few things about the origins of it. And then I will just make a few remarks and remind people that dinner is at 6, is that right? Or are you putting it off until a little later? Oh, yeah, okay.
So thank you all. We are delighted to have a chance to help find ways to bring folks together to talk about the Rural West and things we can do to protect a lifestyle, to protect a climate, to protect an environment, but at the same time to be able to move it forward and make it something more than just a monument. So I want to thank all of you for being here. It has been fascinating as always, and thank the Lane Center. They do such a terrific job. But the topics were interesting. But the most important thing to me is seeing the interactions that occur, the meeting new people, the generating new ideas, and I hope collaborations. We've been doing it for 10 years. We've done it in I think at least 7 different states, and you start to see people that you can talk to or that you remember has an interest in something you're doing that you might be able to reach out to. So thank you all so much for coming, for your participation, for the fascinating conversations, and we'll look forward to one next year.
A couple people said to me, "Well, Bruce, I'm really looking forward to how you wrap up this conference." And I said, "Don't get your hopes up too high," is what I said. And I won't take too long, other than to say this. I do think that when we put this together, we had in mind that this issue of movement, of water, people, businesses, energy across borders was increasingly important one to consider altogether, because there are some duplicating issues and tensions that arise in all these, whether you're talking about water, energy, people, or businesses. One is the tension between, to what degree is this movement about competition between jurisdictions versus complementarity? And what's interesting, of course, is there's both. That there is, in California, the concern that people going to Texas taking their tax revenues with them, and that we're losing good businesses. On the other hand, some of this movement makes a lot of sense given what we were talking about in terms of the cost of living, that it makes sense, rational for people, either retirees or businesses, to move to where the housing is adequate and the costs are lower. So that's a tension, it seems to me, that we talked about very much in the beginning of the day. Secondly is just generally this question of we have shared problems, but we have jurisdictions that cross the boundaries of these shared problems. And this is particularly a problem with water, and that's what the whole Colorado River panel was about, which is how do we get beyond the original idea in the 19th century of the people that came and did the scientific expeditions was to actually create state boundaries around watersheds, on the idea that then you could collaborate within those watershed areas. So ironically, we're back to an idea that was in the minds of people in the 19th century, which is to create institutions around the problems, and hence watershed collaborations, thinking about ways in which you can conserve and use water more rationally. But there is this fact that we have enormous amount of jurisdictions, both old and new ones, and so we have to deal with that problem. And then lastly, there's this whole question of security versus codependency. That is that in energy and water, there's always this tension between the security of the resource, okay, making sure you have it, versus, on the other hand, that there are advantages to this codependency. So you think in terms of energy, the reality is that if you're very dependent on the WEC, the whole regional system, it also, you can be affected. The more you're codependent on it, you can be affected by weather that happens in a different part of it. So we have to find a balance between the codependency and finding some security at the local level so that if indeed there's terrible weather in one part and part of the grid goes down, you still have local resources that you can depend on. So that tension is there. So all this is to say that in the Southwest there are these tensions that we really need to be talking about more and more, and that was the motivation for working with Texas and Arizona and California and to have these kinds of conversations. So hopefully we can go forward with that. But more importantly, I'm going to finish up by thanking a lot of people, starting with Hope, of course, for the Eccles family generosity in creating this program. It's really been a wonderful institution. And to Robert Tarun, I don't know whether he's here, is he? Yeah, there he is, who also has given money to support rural, particularly programs related to rural health, but helped our Rural West program considerably. And then to Arizona State, to Patrick Kinney, who really did answer within 3 or 4 hours of the offer that I gave. He came back right away and said, yeah, good idea, okay? So congratulations. And being so perceptive as to work with us. No, we really do appreciate it. And then to Cody Stonehouse, who was very instrumental in a lot of the help that she gave us. And to the president, who is, Brady wants to invest in anything this guy wants to do. He thinks he can make up his retirement losses that way. Anyway, for my staff, I want to thank Kate, of course, who I call my team of warriors, as in worrying as opposed to warriors. My team of warriors. They worry so I don't have to. I am the Alfred E. Newman of academic administration. What me worry, I say. To Tina, who is a great warrior. Surabhi, who is an apprentice warrior and gotten very good and will become a professor at Oregon State and take her worrying there. Felicity Berenger, who hopefully will write about something that you heard today. I'm hoping that happens. Kylie Gordon, who's been reporting in social media, so some of you have been broadcast in Montana. You didn't know it. Corinne Thomas for manning the stations and making sure that people from out of state didn't get into this. Esther Conrad, who couldn't make it but did help in our development of the program. Jeff McGee, who is taking pictures left and right, hopefully none of me. And Sophia, who is our undergrad, recent grad, who is working, and what? And Lydia, oh my God, and we left out Lydia, who helped to make so many of the arrangements. So if I missed anybody, it's Kate's fault. But in the meantime, enjoy your dinner, and I hope that the conference was very good. And if you have any suggestions about other topics or other places to meet, let us know, okay? How many people here were involved in Stanford in one way or another? I'm just kind of curious. Oh, my God. Oh, sorry, we outnumber ASU. Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much. We'll see you all at dinner. Yeah.